So what we're going to make next is poke root and poke leaf. So poke root is the first pattern we're going to learn, and then we're going to learn a variation called poke leaf. These are very organic, so they can kind of fill in like any weirdo space. And I might add a couple other little things in here while we're learning poke root and poke leaf that you could just, they're sort of like general add-ons to any tangle pattern. So you start this off with a slightly curvy line. I like to start in a corner, but it does not matter where you start. And you're going to double that line up to make like a stem. At the end of the stem, you're going to cap that off with a little backward C. Or if you started from the other direction, it would be a regular C. But just like a semicircle. Then I'm going to draw a circle shape that starts at the stem and goes around and ends behind the stem. And that's the poke root. That's the shape of a poke root. And the idea is you just kind of keep letting more poke roots grow out of the stems. You can have them growing out of the circles. It's just sort of like a plant-like pattern that just grows wherever you need it to grow. And that is poke root. So that one's a pretty straightforward pattern. Poke leaf is almost the same. So we're going to draw a stem, cap it off. But now instead of drawing a circle, I'm going to draw a heart where the wide part of the heart is behind that stem end.
Does the poke leaf have to come out of the poke root?
No, it could come out of stems. You could start another one over here. It's just the idea of drawing a stem and either a circle for poke root or a heart shape or a leaf shape for poke leaf. They can grow out of each other. They can be separate. They can grow out of the leaves. They're not real plants, so you can kind of make them grow however you like. Now, these don't have any kind of contrast. There's no place really. Like you could fill in like either the stems or the roots or leaves black if you wanted to. But another thing you can do is add a little add-on. This can be done with anything. You can do an aura or a perf. You can write that down if you want, but you don't have to. So I'm going to show you what an aura is and what a perf is because they kind of go well with an organic pattern like poke root. An aura is basically just an outline that follows your pattern. So if you ever think of like an aura, people talk about an aura as like kind of a color that glows around you. This is like a line that goes around you. And you can also do interior auras, which is basically outlining an interior space. You can also add auras on auras. Get really complicated by drawing sort of pattern lines and just kind of keep going as far as you would like. Like I could fill this bottom space in with a pattern of lines. The advantage is now I have this boundary that I could fill in the background if I wanted to. Like if I wanted my poke root, my poke leaf to be light or whatever pattern I'm using this with, I could use that aura to create a boundary for me to fill in a dark shape. So auras are just general purpose. They can be used anytime you just need a border. And it just means like adding outlines. The other thing you can do, I'm a little bit of a completist here. The other thing you can do is perfs. So auras are lines, perfs are dots. So let's say I want to have some kind of border, but I don't want just a line. I could draw lots of little dots around an edge and create sort of a dotted line. Or just a section of dots. I could also fill in a space with lots of little circles, like open circles. It could be open circles, it could be filled in circles. But if you are using lots of dots to either fill a space or edge a space, those are called perfs. I could create an aura and I could fill it with perfs. There's not really any rules. These are just wacky things the Zentangle people have made up. So this is actually 4 things in one. You've got poke root, which you can use wherever you just have a weird space you might like poke root in. You've got poke leaf. Again, you can kind of fill that in, grow it to whatever shape or size you need. And then you've got 2 edging ideas here with the auras and the perfs.